What's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Carnage, and we got another Madrid hype for you guys right here on the channel. And this one is a pretty big one because not only do we have a Carlo Press Conference to react to, but we got a lot of transfer talk, right? We got these Saudi clubs trying to come and take our star players. Not only Vinicius, but right before I started the stream, I saw news that the Saudi clubs also want Thibaut Courtois. We got to talk about it. And we're going to also look at the fullback situation that's going on. Obviously, Alphonso Davies and Trent Alexander-Arnold have been heavily linked with the club, and new reports have come out regarding that. But big up to you guys, man. Big few days ahead, right? We play Bilbao tomorrow, and then on Saturday, we're going to be going against Girona. So it's a lot of stuff. These games are coming pretty fast, right? I mean, it's actually kind of crazy when you think about it, because we just played Getafe on Sunday, and now 3 days later, we're going against Bilbao, and then like 3 days after that, we're going against Girona. So this is a very exciting time if you follow the club and if you're going to be watching games. So look, man, it's going to be a fun stream. Big up to everybody that's in here, right? Make sure you guys smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. Turn on those post notifications. And if you catch me on playback, I'll add chapters as always so you guys can jump around and listen to the parts that you care about the most. But as I said, big up the damn chat. Big up everybody that's watching every single time. But shout out to my guy Unruly, says we here. Yeah, bro. Yo, we're here. And today's also going to be a very busy day because after this stream, right, I know that Barcelona are playing Mallorca later. And I was going to do a hate along, but I got some things that came up for work. So we are going to be watching Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen in the German Super Cup. That game should be fire, right? Xabi Alonso going to more than likely be our next manager. So let's see what he does today against Bayern Munich, right? Big matchup in Germany that is going to be going on. So we'll be doing a watch along for that. Make sure that you guys all are there for that stream. Big up, bro. How you doing, my guy? Says, nah, no Barca hate along tonight. I just explained that. And, yo, chills, vamos Mallorca. Come on. Do you guys think that Barcelona are going to drop points in 4 straight games? I kind of don't think so, to be honest. Like, I would love for Mallorca to go out there and take points off of Barca. I mean, shit, we played Mallorca in the first game of the season, and they gave us a very hard game. So maybe they could do something. But the odds are Barca aren't going to drop points in 4 straight games. And to be honest, I don't need them to, right? Because Barcelona have already fucked up so much that now, even if they win tonight, as long as we don't drop points and we win our game in hand, we will go top of LaLiga. So job's kind of done from other teams' parts in terms of helping us. Now we have to do what's required. You know what I'm saying? Duty says, not really. Not really to what, bro? Big up, man. Hala Madrid, y nada más. Come on. Ha, true Mallorca. Bro, that first game of the season, I think everybody was very stunned on how poorly we played. And to be fair, that did show, or that game did tell us a lot because we were pretty poor for a majority of the season, right? Like, our form has been like a yo-yo, up and down. Like, one game we'll play good, next game will be shit. But a majority of this season, we've just been very mid. So I'm hoping that Mallorca could play party spoilers again. But I just think it's going to be very hard to rely on Barcelona to drop points in 4 straight games, you know? I think Mallorca will take points from Barca. Hey, look, if they do, I'll be sad that I couldn't do a hate along for it. But they must do us a good service because just Barca fans are so damn annoying. But look, guys, let's get into it, all right? Because we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I don't really want to waste that much time. So let's get into the Carlo Ancelotti press conference. Obviously, right, he always does these the day before the game, and we have a huge matchup tomorrow against Bilbao. This is arguably the hardest game that we have on the schedule up until the calendar year ends. And this is going to be away from the Bernabeu. So a pretty hostile environment, right? Bilbao are one of the best teams in Spain. They're also arguably the favorites to win the Europa League. And they have a decent squad. So This is not going to be a game where anybody should be predicting an easy 3 points. The players need to go there and be on their A game. They need to put in one of the best performances that they would have had this season, because aside from the Barca and the Atleti game, it does not get much harder than Bilbao. I know that people think that Athletic Bilbao are some small shit team, or that La Liga is full of shit teams outside of the big three. Well, no. Bilbao are a good team. They have good players, right? Inaki Williams, Nico Williams, right? They also got Unai Simon, the goalkeeper, right? They got Sanket, the midfielder. They have decent players. And I'm going to need the guys to not fuck around tomorrow. It is a must-win game. Every single game that we have right now, it must be treated as a cup final, because we cannot lose them. Anyways, Ancelotti's here, right? Press conference. Let's see what they ask him. Sometimes the reporters ask some dumb shit. I'm going to be real. But lately, I think the questions have not been so bad. But the main quote that Real Madrid's website is highlighting, it says, Ancelotti says, we are on a good run and will be at our best in Bilbao. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear, man. All right. Was it last season? Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Our first game last season, was that not against Bilbao? I could be wrong, right? You know, my memory is not the best. I'm an old man. But let's get into it, chat. So, who would take a penalty at the San Mamés? Now, this is actually a pretty good question, because we saw the other day, right, against Getafe, when a penalty was given, nobody really knew who was going to take it. It was either going to be between Mbappe, Rodrigo, or Jude, right? Now, ultimately, Jude ended up taking the penalty, and I guess that is leading people to ask the question on who is the main penalty taker, especially with Vinicius not being available. Because obviously, when Vini is fit, Vini is our number one penalty taker. Now, Mbappe did miss one against Liverpool, and then on Sunday, Jude scored his penalty, and he took it very well. So in my opinion, before we even get into Carlo's answer, I think Jude Bellingham should be taking the next penalty. To be honest, if he didn't miss, why take him off? That's how I view it. But let's see what he says. So Carlo says Bellingham and Mbappe will analyze it tomorrow and choose the one who is in the best shape to take it. It's not a matter of debate. Well, it is a matter of debate if Bellingham and Mbappe are the ones who will decide it, because what if Mbappe thinks he should take it? And then what if Jude thinks he should take it? Then there will be some kind of confusion. And I think that the manager, I like when managers give players their freedom, but I don't like when managers do not make clear-cut decisions. It should not be left up to the players in the heat of a match who takes the penalty. Because if they don't agree, right? We don't want a situation like what Chelsea had. You remember when Chelsea, like last season, it was like Madueke and Cole Palmer, and then I think Nico Jackson. Like, they were all fighting for the ball to take the penalty. That was a really bad look. We don't want that. Carlo needs to just say, Mbappe missed his penalty against Liverpool. Jude took the penalty against Getafe. Jude took it very well. So right now, if there is a penalty awarded against Bilbao, Jude Bellingham will take it because he's in better form with penalties. It's fucking simple. Make a decision. Anyways, he says, the Getafe penalty can be analyzed in two ways. Some view it as an act of insecurity, and we see it as an act of responsibility and selflessness. These are two important things for us. Selflessness from a great talent like Mbappe is an act that we value very highly. So there were reports that said Mbappe, he gave it to Jude. He told Jude to take it. If that's true, then kudos to Mbappe, right? What I've seen from Mbappe this season, he doesn't seem like the guy that a lot of people were painting him out to be, right? A lot of people were calling Mbappe selfish and that he's all about himself. He only cares about his stats. This season, right? We've seen Mbappe be selfish. So that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, Carlo Ancelotti needs to be the one to be making that decision. Anyways. Selflessness from a great talent like Mbappe is an act that we value very highly because it means that we could be the greatest. Because it means that what could be the greatest talent there is in football is putting himself at the service of the team. I don't see it as a lack of courage, but as an important act for his teammates. Everyone at the club appreciates it as an act of selflessness. That means he is on the right track. I really value that. All right, not a bad question. Next one, Tchouaméni. All right, see, I'm liking this so far. The reporters are not coming with no BS questions. My man, Hawk Chua, has returned, okay? Get ready for the best DM in world football to be back against Bilbao. Okay, I'm trying a little bit. He's not the best DM in the world, but I rate Tchouaméni as one of the best DMs in the world. I know that his stocks are low right now, but chat, buy while his stocks are low so that you can cash in on them when they're back really high. Tchouaméni is very important for us, and having him back, he's going to be playing his first game since the injury against AC Milan. Now, again, AC Milan, that was a disaster class that he had. But I don't expect him to put in that kind of performance if he does get any minutes tomorrow. So, Tchouaméni's return. He says, he's doing very well. He's trained well and recovered nicely. We'll see tomorrow where I put him. We have to think that players are coming back gradually, and that's enough. He's been useful defensively, both as a central defender and as a defensive pivot. He's very important for us. He provides us with height at set pieces because we lost height with him, Militao, and Camavinga missing. How tall is Camavinga? I know that Tchouaméni's like 6'2", right? He's pretty tall. I know Militao is tall. I thought Camavinga was kind of short. But I don't like how Carlo mentioned him as a central defender, right? We don't need Tchouaméni to play in defense anymore, right? Yes, defensive midfielder, but not center back. Raul Asensio has arrived. Raul Asensio must start. If Carlo Ancelotti drops Asensio and plays Tchouaméni, there will be problems. I will be very pissed off. There's no reason for it. It would make no sense. With the great form that Raul Asensio's been on, Tchouaméni, keep his ass in midfield. Obviously, it's a good thing to have him back because now if Raul Asensio gets injured or if Rudiger gets injured, then you put Tchouaméni at center back over a Vallejo. But as long as those two guys are fit, I don't need to be seeing Tchouaméni in that back line at all. But man like Hawk Chua has returned. The role of the right winger. These are some good questions. The reporters are cooking right now because we know that right wing is a problem that we have on the side, right? Against Getafe, when we looked at the average positioning, Brahim Diaz was the right winger, but he was so inverted. It was basically like we didn't have anybody on that right wing. Like our right wing is always a issue because we don't have a natural right winger, right? I think the best balance that we have is when we start Arda Güler on the right. He stays out wide, which opens up the defense a little bit. But let's see what Carlo says. So the role of the right winger, he carries out more defensive duties than the left winger. That's why we don't always play a winger sometimes. We play a midfielder or an inside player. Brahim and Bellingham have those characteristics. We have to adapt the characteristics to the system we have on the pitch. Not a bad answer as well. Now, Ceballos. Yo, chat. We got to give Dani Ceballos a lot of credit, guys, because Ceballos cooked against Getafe. You guys already know he's a player that I do not rate. But I got to give him a lot of credit. He was arguably, aside from Jude, you could say that Dani Ceballos was the best player on the pitch. He was on fire in that game. So let's see. Carlo says he's done well like Asensio. He came on the pitch and showed his quality with a good attitude. He's a different kind of player to other midfielders. He's less about energy and more about ball control. He has a lot of personality and is not worried about having the ball. He brings more quality to the game. I do agree, right? That is one of Dani Ceballos' best attributes, is he is very technical. So fair enough. And there is a possibility that he might start tomorrow, right? I definitely think that he will be in the consideration for starting 11, but we'll see. How many more questions is there? All right, not that many. All right, so Asensio's quick adoption. He says he's shown himself to be reliable center back. He doesn't lack the knowledge of the position. His positioning is very good. He's confident and motivated. He has shown a lot in these 4 games. And if I think about leaving him on the bench one day, I have to really think about it. Well, there should never be a time where Asensio is on the bench this season, because if you're not going to play Asensio, then you're playing Vallejo. So, yeah, there's never a time, Carlo, unless Asensio's injured, that he should not be starting, unless we're going to go sign a big-name defender in January. Possibly. Maybe. Who knows? Anyways, he says, I've been surprised by his maturity and his calmness when it comes to handling game situations. He's very confident, and you've never see him worried. He's already passed the crucial test, and he can be considered a player in this squad with all the merit because he deserves it. Yeah, that crucial test was Liverpool. And yeah, I mean, look, since Asensio's been in the side, he has been our best center back. I don't think anybody would argue that. So, fair enough. Now, let's keep it going. 3 more questions, chat. So, Bellingham's goal-scoring contribution. He says, the team's improved performance has allowed him to get back to scoring goals. He's always performed well, but now he's more settled up front. We're better in possession. We've got clearer ideas, and Mbappe's individual improvements has allowed us to open up space, and he's taken advantage of that. With the exception of a couple games, his position has always been the same as last year. That's not true, Carlo. You're lying. You're lying. Because we look at that average positioning every game. Jude's average positioning is sometimes behind the right back and the left back, right? Like, this guy is playing pretty deep. Last season, Jude was a lot higher up the pitch. So there's no need to gaslight us, right? There's no reason to lie. Yes, Jude has been getting his GA now, but I do agree when Carlo says that regardless of the GA, Jude's been playing well this season. A lot of people want to hold a box-to-box midfielder to GA-only standards, and like that to me is ridiculous. Jude is one of the most complete midfielders, and his overall game is very impactful. All right, next thing. Competition between Fran Garcia and Mendy at left back. Interesting. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, right? I think Fran Garcia needs to start more games than Mendy. Because more times than not, we're playing teams that are inferior to us. So we should be on the ball and dominating possession and creating a lot of chances. That's where Fran Garcia is very useful. Now, where I think Ferland Mendy needs to start games is when we're going against teams that have really good wingers, right? A lot of pace up front, right? So, for example, tomorrow, I think that Ferland Mendy needs to start, right? Because do I think Fran Garcia can handle either Anaki or Nico Williams? No, I don't, right? But Ferland Mendy is a lot better defensively. So games like that, I think it kind of makes more sense to have Mendy in there. But more times than not, I do believe that Fran Garcia should be starting. Now, Carlos says, these are technical decisions. I have every confidence in a player who has helped us win 2 Champions Leagues. Fran is good in defense and also contributes going forward. He's made the most of the opportunities I've given him. Fair answer. The Libertadores final. Is this the South American Champions League, right? Yeah, I think there was a winner for this, and that's who we're going to be playing in the Intercontinental Cup later this month. So, yeah, I mean, this is actually a relevant question. Let's see. I watched the game. There was a fantastic atmosphere and an incredible first minute of the game. With that kick, Botafogo's attitude and commitment was extraordinary, and I'm very happy for Alan, a player that he coached at Napoli, and for Botafogo, a historic club in Brazilian football who have won the Libertadores for the first time. If they advance, we'll be delighted to play them in the Intercontinental Cup. They put in an extraordinary performance, and we congratulate them. So that is the press conference, chat. Let me know what you guys thought about it. I actually like this one, right? I think all these questions were very good. And they were all questions that I think needed to be asked, to be honest. So, W reporters. Now, before I get into your chats, last thing that I kind of want to talk about concerning this game against Bilbao is the squad, right? So, the squad got announced today, right? These are the players that will be traveling for this game. So Courtois, Lunin, and Sergio Mestre in goal, right? The defense, Lucas Vazquez, Vallejo, Fran Garcia, Rudiger, Ferland Mendy, Asensio, and Lorenzo Aguado, who is a right back. Now, that's actually pretty interesting because everybody was talking about Jesus Fortia like a few weeks to a month ago. And now it looks like Lorenzo Aguado is now the right back from the academy that Carlo trusts the most. So we'll see. He's not going to play, though, right? Well, let's be real. Carlo's not going to play this guy. Whatever. Midfielders, Bellingham, Valverde, Modric, Tchouaméni is back, Arda Güler, Dani Ceballos. In attack, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Endrick, Brahim, and Gonzalo. So here is the squad that will be traveling to take on Bilbao. Now, if you guys want to know my match predictions, you got to go check out the match preview that I dropped yesterday, right? Fire video. Make sure that you guys go look at that after I end this stream, all right? Because we talk about the matchup more in depth, and I predict my starting 11 and all those different things. So that video dropped yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go check it out after I'm done with this show right here. Now, let me get into your chats, right? I want to know what you guys are saying. I know it's a bunch of you in here, right? Big up every single time, right? Shout out everybody that's in here. Big up the chat, man. W chat. All right. Yo, Hubris, what's good, bro? No hate watch. Every stream that I'm going to do a watch along for, I always create them on Sunday. So if you ever want to know what games I'm doing for the week, just go check. They're already out there, right? If it's not an event that's created, then I'm not doing that game. I was going to do a hate watch for Barca, but I have something that came up for work. So I'm not going to have time to set up and do it. But we will be here for the German Super Cup, right? Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen, Xabi Alonso watch, Alphonso Davies watch, okay? Yo, big up to my guy, TJ. If there's any Arsenal fans in here, make sure that you guys subscribe to my guy, TJ Warren. He's an absolute fraud, but that's my guy right there that does really good content. So make sure to check him out. And yes, as he's saying, smash those likes, people. Yeah, I'm super happy that Jude's concussion was not serious. Saeed, what's going on, bro? Camavinga's 6 feet. Really? I saw him and Vinicius post a picture together, and he didn't look that much taller than Vinny, and Vinny's like 5'8". But all right, fair enough. You sub to me because of how I snap and go wild? I appreciate that, bro. Who is Asensio's idol? I don't know, and I don't care. As long as he keeps cooking, this guy can idolize whoever the hell he wants. Ethan says Vallejo is crap. Facts. Ceballos cooked last game. Not, bro, unruly. He was on fire. He was on fire. He's who Barca fans think Pedri is. Ooh, are we saying that Ceballos is better than Pedri? I don't know, my guy. I don't know. Vini to Saudi, what? Yeah, we will be talking about that next because, look, the reports are not going away, man. Where there's smoke, there's fire, they say. Vinny also says, Vinny going to the Premier League, not Saudi. He will choose where he will go. I do not agree with that. Big up to Rabona. Ain't no way these rumors of Vinny leaving are back again. We need him. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Big up yourself. Ethan says, I don't think we need a new center back. We have Raul and no. We need new center backs because right now we only have 3 that are fit. And who knows what David Alaba is going to be like when he comes back. So yes, we do need center backs because injuries will happen throughout the season. Mallorca 3-1 Barcelona. I can't see Mallorca getting a 3-1 win over Barcelona. I would like that to happen, but like, what are the odds of it really happening, right, chat? Like, I don't want to kind of predict things that I don't believe, but hopefully, right? Maybe it does happen. Now, let's get on to these transfer rumors because it's a lot that's going on right now. And I woke up to some nonsense right now. It's no secret that these Saudi clubs want to sign Vinicius. And I said it when I talked about it a few months ago, and I'll say it again. These rumors make me very nervous. I don't like to see these rumors pop up because I do believe that Saudi Arabia is a legit threat to take Vinicius from us. I don't believe any other club in Europe can take Vinicius. But Saudi, with the money that they're going to be offering him, I think we would be kidding ourselves. We would be naive to not think that this is a serious possibility. Now, the reports are saying that even though Saudi teams are interested in Vinicius, such as Ahli, Real Madrid has made it very clear that they are not going to be selling Vini unless one of those teams pay a majority of that release clause that Vinicius has. Now, if you do not know, Vinicius does have a €1 billion release clause. And if Ahli or Al-Hilal or any of these other Saudi clubs want to sign him, they need to pay a majority of that. Now, the reason why I'm nervous is because there were reports that these clubs were offering Vinicius a contract that would pay him €1 billion over, I think it was like 3-4 years, untaxed. That is a crazy amount of money. If Vinicius was to leave Saudi or leave Real Madrid to go to Saudi, he would be a billionaire in 3 years. Do you know how nuts that is? Now, if they come in with an offer, and let's say they want to give us $600 million for Vinicius, I think the club would have to consider it. But to be honest, I just don't think we should entertain any offers. And that's me thinking about it from an emotional place, right? You guys know when you play FIFA and people are making transfer offers for players that you want to keep and you just hit block all transfers. That's what Real Madrid need to do, is hit block all transfers. But yes, Saudi is a legit threat to take Vinicius. The Premier League, no. Because if you're Vinicius, why would you leave Real Madrid to go to what? Manchester United? Chelsea? Arsenal? Like where? Where do you go? He's the face of the franchise of Real Madrid. He's the face of the club. Why would he leave to go to any other European team? They can't offer him more money than what we can. Why would he go to PSG or Bayern Munich? None of these clubs are as attractive. And the Saudi clubs are not attractive either. But that money is. I ultimately think Vinicius stays for a few more seasons before he ends up leaving. But I do think these Saudi links are going to be here every single year. They're not going to go away. And the thing is, Vinicius' contract expires in 2027. That's what? 3 years? We need to extend him ASAP. We got to bring up his wages because the money that Saudi are offering him is nowhere near the money that we can give him. Well, no, that's not true. Saudi can offer him way more money than what we can. I think Vinicius' salary right now is like 20 million. Saudi are offering him 200 million a season. Do you get it? It's just different. So it all comes down to what are Vini's ambition, right? Because I think if he stays at Real Madrid another 5-6 years, he can become a legend at this club. He can be regarded as one of the better players that have come and played for us, right? Look at all the things that he's won already. Multiple Champions Leagues, right? LaLiga, Copa del Rey, Spanish Super Cup, Club World Cup. The guy has won everything at club level. And he can continue to win that. Now, that can also go against us because maybe he looks at it and says, yo, I've already accomplished everything that there is to do. I think maybe he just wants the Ballon d'Or. If he wins the Ballon d'Or, he might think he's done everything that he wants. So maybe he will go to Saudi. So it's kind of a two-way street. Now, selfishly, right, I'm hoping that he rejects any offers that Saudi gives him. But if I'm going to be realistic, if I was offered $200 million a year, how can I say no to that? How do you reject that kind of money? They are offering him 10 times the salary that he's on right now at Real Madrid. In 2 seasons, he could make close to $500 million. In 2 seasons, he would have made more than he's ever made in all his years playing for us. And I think that a lot of people don't consider that, right? A lot of us are emotional. But we have to realize, right? This is their job. So yes, as fans, we'd say, yo, don't leave. But if you're at your current job right now, would you not leave that job if another company was offering you 10 times the salary to do the same exact thing? Of course we would. But a lot of people don't view football that way, right? Like a lot of people take real life scenarios out of football situations. Like when people think players should not try and get as much money as possible, right? That's like me telling you, when you go get a job, tell your company that you're getting your job with that you want to take less money because you want to work for passion, because you just love working there. So you'll take a pay cut. Nobody else would do that, but we expect footballers to. So yeah, these Saudi links are very concerning. They're very concerning. I hope that they leave him alone, right? And again, I would not sell him unless they pay that release clause. I know that the report says they have to pay most of it. Fuck most of it. If you're not paying the entire thing, I'm not selling him. Activate that release clause. But I do think the club needs to get working on a new deal for Vini immediately. I'm talking about Vinicius needs to sign a new contract by the time this season is over. Because come next summer, Vinicius will only have 2 years left on his deal. And if he's fucking around, sell him. I don't want no player is going to run down his contract. If Vinicius does not want to sign a new deal, you sell him then. Let him go to Saudi. Let them buy him for about $500 million. It would have to be an astronomical fee. It would have to be a world record by a few hundred million. I'm talking about $500 million is the starting point. All that damn money that they got in Saudi. We're not PSG, right? How Mbappe left for free, they got nothing. Florentino Perez is not doing that. If Vinicius is not signing a new deal, sell him. There were reports that the club wanted to offer a new contract, but Vinicius isn't in a rush to sign one. And I get it, because from a player's POV, he has more leverage in negotiations the longer he waits. But as a fan, right, I'm not trying to think logically right now. I'm trying to think about what's best for my club. If you do not sign a new contract, Vinicius needs to leave. I refuse to lose him for free. Go get $500 million then, minimum. But yeah, I'm glad that we have included, and I'm glad that the clubs in Spain include high release clauses, right? Because of situations like this, I know that Barcelona, right? They definitely wished that Neymar had a $1 billion release clause, because then PSG wouldn't have been able to buy him. Neymar release clause was like 220. PSG activated that shit, took Neymar. Yeah, that's why everybody gets the $1 billion release clause now, because nobody ever thought somebody would be bought for $220 million until PSG did it. And now Barcelona, every time they give out a new contract, minimum, their release clause is $500 million. Same thing with us. Vinicius, $1 billion. Rodrigo, $1 billion. Jude, $1 billion. So that's where this now comes in handy. Could you imagine if Vinicius's release clause was like 250? Bro, Saudi would pay that shit tomorrow. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Vinicius's release clause was $250 million? That means they don't even got to talk to us. If they agree terms with Vinicius, they activate that, he leaves. So, yeah, I'm concerned. I don't know about you guys, but every time I see this rumor, I start to sweat, because that kind of money is just damn near impossible to turn down. But what are you guys saying about Vinicius and this whole Saudi thing and the team that wants him, right? Ahli. Right now, and I'm surprised that it's not Al Hilal, right? Al Hilal have Neymar. They got Malcolm, Mitrovic, Milinkovic-Savic. They have João Cancelo. They got Koulibaly. They got Bunu in goal, right? Yo, they got Renan Lodi. They already got a few Brazilians at Al Hilal, and Al Hilal are the biggest team in Asia. Like, they are the Real Madrid of that continent. So I'm surprised that they're not being linked to Vinicius. He's being linked to Al Ahli. And Al Ahli at the moment, they have like Ivan Toney, they got Riyad Mahrez, Bobby Firmino, they got Frank Kessie, Gabri Villegas. Do they have Edouard Mendy in goal as well? So, yeah, we'll see. All right? But, yeah, these rumors, very concerning. What are you guys saying in the chat? Let's go, man. And big up to everybody that's in here. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you have not done so already. Why would Vinny downgrade? Well, anywhere he goes is an automatic downgrade, but that money is not a downgrade. If Vinicius goes to Saudi, he becomes a billionaire, right? If this guy is a billionaire, this guy's lineage forever will never have to worry about money ever again. Vinicius' great grandkids will have money if this guy goes to Saudi. Like that is a lifetime supply of bread. But yeah, I hope he doesn't go anywhere for sure. Because Mbappe earns 3 times what Vinny. No, that's not true. That's not true. Vinicius he's on the same wage as Jude, right? Vinicius makes about like $400K a week. Mbappe makes like, hold on, let me see. Because maybe you are right, actually. Hold on. Let's look at the wage. Hold on, see. Real Madrid wage structure. Let's talk about it. Where's the website that shows all of that? All right, here we go. Let me share my screen. Hold on. All right, let's see. So I do believe that Mbappe is the highest player. Yeah, so Mbappe is on $600K a week. So he makes 31 mil a year. David Alaba is second. Yeah, Vinicius is on 400. Him and Jude are on the same wage right here. So, yeah, Mbappe doesn't make because 3 times the amount would mean 400 times 3, right? So if Mbappe made 3 times the amount as Vinicius, then he would be making 1.2 mil a week, and he's not making that. So, yeah, Mbappe, it makes sense that he's the highest paid player because he was a free agent that we signed. So when you come on a free, you get a higher signing bonus and you get higher wages because the club didn't have to pay for you. But, yeah, I get what you mean. Vinicius needs to be right up there. Vinicius won't go anywhere, and his team has been so evident. Fair. You see Barca's new mascot? Yeah, that shit is trash. Vinny is not leaving Madrid, not in 5 years. I can see Vinny leaving when he's close to 30. Like 28, 29. I could definitely see it. Bro, Vini Jr. won't go to Saudi for money. But how could we say that? We don't know him. So I can only go off of what humans would naturally do. Would you turn down that? Well, you probably would. I mean, who do you even want to buy? Because there is no replacement. But on the other hand, $600 million is what you get for winning the UCL 4 times. So it wouldn't even matter if y'all pay. I mean, good point. 200 M's is crazy. Let me see. Now, that's true. Let me see. Bro, the possibility of Vinny going to Saudi is 0. Bro, but you think he'd go to the Premier League? Why would you leave Real Madrid to go to the Premier League and earn the same money? Like, what would be the upgrade or benefit for him? Why does he not want to? No. There's no rumors that Vinicius is forcing a move. But the reports are saying he's not in a rush to sign a new deal. He's waiting. He wants to get more leverage, which I get it. You might have to go back and watch, Diamond Head. I don't really got time to give you a recap, but big up, bro. Mbappe, yeah, he's on like 600 bags a week. Let me see. He's not leaving. He will win Ballon d'Or here and shine longer for Madrid. I hope that all you guys are right, bro, because I don't want Vinicius going anywhere, bro. I don't. To me, he's a player that is non-transferable. Like, you can't sell Vinicius, in my opinion. Like, that would be criminal. Again, if Saudi pay that $1 billion release clause, and if he wants to leave, then fair enough. If they just spent $1 billion on one player, then, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But if they're not going to pay that, you got to keep him, right? But anyways, let's move forward, chat. We got a few other things to get into. Now, let's talk about some incomings, right? And we all know about the fullback situation at Real Madrid, right? We know that the preferred right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, he is a player that if he does not sign a new deal, we will be able to sign for free at the end of this season. Now, we all know this is going to be a very tricky situation because Trent Alexander-Arnold is arguably the best right back in the world. Would you guys disagree with that? I don't think so. I think Trent has taken massive leaps defensively this season, right? We all used to criticize him and say, oh, Trent can't defend. This season, he's shutting up all the people that thought he was shit defensively because he's been locking people up. He's been locking up a lot of wingers this season. Best right back in the world. And we all know that Real Madrid desperately need to sign a right back in the summer window. Dani Carvajal's days of being the undisputed starter are over. This guy's coming off of a big ACL injury, right? We're not going to see him until next season. Maybe not until October or November next season. So we need a right back. We need a long-term replacement. And Dani Carvajal is like, what, 33, 34 years old? And we only gave him a 1-year extension. So next season will be Carvajal's last. Now, with that all being said, right, Trent Alexander-Arnold is the most obvious choice for Real Madrid. Best right back in the world, very proven at the highest levels, right? Has won Champions Leagues, won the Prem, Carabao Cup, Club World Cup, right? He's won it all at Liverpool. And for the club, the most important thing is he would be free, right? Everybody knows Florentino Perez and the board, they love a free transfer. Now, we all know that he's very important for Liverpool. He's from their academy, right? And they've transformed him into a monster. Now, the problem is that we need a right back right now, right? I'm talking about the January window. And I don't know if we can be starting Lucas Vazquez for the rest of the season. That makes me very nervous. We all know that Lucas Vazquez is a massive liability. So when it comes to a right back, I think in the January window, Real Madrid should be looking to sign Trent. Now, the reason why it's unlikely is because, one, we usually don't spend money in January. But I think this season, I should say, we must. But we're in a dilemma here, chat. We are in quite a pickle because Liverpool right now are on fucking fire. Liverpool are the best team in Europe right now. They're top of the Premier League comfortably, and they are top of the Champions League standings. This is a massive problem for us, right? Because why would Trent leave right now? I think Liverpool are playing so well that not only is it unlikely that a January deal gets done, but this guy might sign a new contract. Liverpool should be winning the Premier League. Liverpool are the favorites to win the Champions League. Could you imagine if they do a double this season? Why would Trent leave? Seeing Liverpool play this well is not a good thing for us. They just slapped us up 2-0. And Trent didn't even play. They beat the shit out of us with some of their best players not available. Now, we didn't have our best players available either, right? We had injuries as well. But that's not really an excuse that I want to give. I think that we still had quality on the pitch where I'm going to always expect the win. But Liverpool right now are phenomenal, chat. Arne Slot is looking like the best manager in Europe right now. In his first season at Liverpool, look at what he's doing. Now, we know that they're going to be offering Trent a new deal. Obviously, right? You cannot let a player like Trent leave. But I think where we have an advantage is that Liverpool do not have, in my opinion, a bright future. I know that right now they're doing amazing, but I do not trust their board to do enough to maintain this level. They brought in a brand new manager in the summer, and they only signed Chiesa. Liverpool are an unambitious club. FSG have gotten very lucky, right? Jurgen Klopp took them out of the mud. He got them out of the ghetto. Jurgen Klopp is the reason for Liverpool's success, not their board. Arne Slot, he looks like another manager that might be able to work miracles at that club. But I do not believe they're going to go out there and spend money like that. Liverpool are a cheap club. They are a sell-to-buy club. They never do enough. And yes, this season, they gambled by not signing players, and it's worked out. But I think if you're Trent, you have to factor that in, right? Why not come to Real Madrid? Why not be the right back for us? Your best friend Jude is here. After the Euros, Trent went on holiday with the Real Madrid players. And to be honest, Liverpool are an incompetent club. Look at how Mo Salah is talking right now. Mo Salah has come out and said that they have not offered him a new deal. And Mohamed Salah is arguably the best player that's ever played for Liverpool. He's an absolute legend. So now, if they didn't offer Mo Salah a new deal, that also has me thinking they might have not offered Trent one either, or Van Dijk. So I don't know what kind of incompetence is going on at this club. That's Liverpool. But we need to capitalize on it. But I think Liverpool, there's no way in hell they are going to sell Trent in the middle of the season while they're on fire. I think they will take their chances of Trent possibly signing a new deal at the end of the season. I think they'll risk it. And that for us is not good because there's no guarantee that this guy comes. And for me, Trent is the best available option, regardless of price. But I think the club are realizing this, right? The club are realizing how good Liverpool are. And they know that Trent might fuck around and sign a new deal. And if Trent signs a new deal, I highly doubt that we go in for him. Because the price would be astronomical. Liverpool might want like 80 to 90 million for a right back. So that's why you see Real Madrid being linked to the low at Manchester United, right? This is why you see Real Madrid sometimes get linked to a Jeremy Frimpong, because the club need to have a short list of right backs to go after if Trent signs a new deal. But I'm very stressed because when I'm looking at the right back situation, I'm thinking to myself, who do I even like out there on the market enough that I would feel or that I would really want the club to sign aside from Trent? Like, give me some names, chat. I like Hakimi, but one, he plays for PSG and he just signed a new deal. PSG are not going to sell players to us. They fucking hate us. It's over. We're not going to be buying any players from PSG for a very long time. Jeremy Frimpong, I don't rate him like that. Delo, decent. I see the reports to Reece James, but Reece James is always injured. So, like, who is a right back that we could be signing right now that would be the long-term replacement for Danny Carvajal? Who? For me, Trent is just the obvious answer. We need Jude Bellingham to be working overtime as the agent here. I need Jude to be texting them pictures of the training ground, texting them pictures of the Bernabeu, texting them pictures of just convince, bro, just get in his ear. International break, everything. Get in his ear to try and convince him to come. Because to me, it just makes sense. I'm really struggling to think of somebody else. But yeah, man, look, the reports say that Liverpool are working hard to keep Trent Alexander-Arnold at the club beyond this summer. But so far, there has been no breakthrough in negotiations. Real Madrid's admiration for the player is there. You know what I'm hoping? If Trent signs a new deal, hypothetically, maybe it could be like what Coutinho did. Do you guys remember when Coutinho, he said, oh, I'm not going to leave Liverpool. He signed a new deal. 6 months, he went to Barcelona. Now, obviously, he flopped. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the more that Liverpool keep winning, right, it's just not a good thing for us. Because now there's going to be a lot of pressure on Trent to stay. But let me know what you guys think about this Trent news, man. Fucking hell, bro. It's crazy. Is my stream lagging? Let me know, chat. I see that comment right here. I don't think I'm lagging, though. My connection's been pretty good, I think. Let me see. Yeah, bro. I talked about this yesterday on the Delo rumors. He is a good player, but I'm just not sure if that's who I would want to be targeting. But like, I don't mind the rumors. But 50 million, it's a bit crazy, you know? Trent is probably the best in the... I'd be worried about leaving if I'm a Scouser. Yeah, I mean, I think Liverpool fans are worried about that. But I think they're playing so well that I feel like he might just stay. I think the best thing that could have happened for us was if Liverpool came in and if they struggled this season with Slot. Like, if they were fighting for top 4 and not looking like they're going to win a trophy, that would have been the best thing for us. Literally. See, Madrid are considering waiting until the summer to see if he becomes available on a free, as reports stated. Yeah, but I need him in January. I don't even want to wait. I don't want to wait. Yo, big up, bro. Let me see. He did say he wanted to win trophies. So if we're not locking in the rest of the season, he will stay at Liverpool. I mean, I don't even think that's a problem, right? If trophies, and I mean, he did talk about wanting to win the Ballon d'Or. So, you know what I'm saying? He wants to win the Ballon d'Or. Sign Gerard Mark. Fuck no. The guy from Barcelona? I don't rate Frimpong like that. I only rate him in a back 3. So he could be a wing back. Theo Hernandez is a left back, not a right back. Porro from Tottenham, that'll be very expensive. That'd be very expensive. Porro's not a bad shout, though. Yeah, man. But let's move on, though. Let's move on, right? Yeah, but let me know what you guys are saying about Trent, right? Now, I do want to talk about this other fullback, the left back, right? Now, we all know about the links with Alphonso Davies, right? There were reports, maybe like 3-4 weeks ago, that he's basically a Real Madrid player. Now, after those reports broke, his agent came out and said, any reports about Alphonso Davies already signing a contract with another team is false. There's no agreements with anybody, right? And then the news for that has calmed down. Now, I want to know what you guys think about Alphonso Davies, because I do rate him. I do. I think Alphonso Davies is a good player. But I know what his issues are, right? Defensively, he's not that good. Now, I was talking to Liam from the Bayern View, right? And he told me that this season, he thinks Alphonso Davies has been the best left back in the world. And we all know, right? He's very explosive. He's great going forward. He's versatile as well. You could play him as a left back, left wing back, left mid, left winger. Anywhere on that left side, Alphonso Davies is serviceable. But I watched him go against Barcelona in the Champions League, and he failed the Lamine Yamal test. Lamine Yamal absolutely cooked him. Now, most defenders will fail that test because Lamine Yamal is a generational level player. He's a fantastic player. So most left backs are going to get cooked. But not one time that game did Alphonso Davies look good defensively. And that was what concerned me. Because if we sign Alphonso Davies, right, he will be seeing Lamine Yamal a lot for many years. And I can't see you getting cooked every single El Clasico. Now, I think there needs to be a balance in the team, right? So if you bring in Alphonso Davies, I think that's the end of Fran Garcia. I think Fran Garcia would have to be sold. Because are we going to now have 3 left backs? And the reason why I'm saying Fran Garcia would have to be sold and not Ferland Mendy is because we would need Mendy for the defensive presence, right? I think Mendy and Alphonso Davies as your two left backs, it's not bad in my opinion. I don't mind it at all because they both offer you different things. So depending on what the game plan is, they can both be beneficial. But Alphonso Davies, again, same thing like Trent, free. His contract runs out at the end of this season, right? And we tried to get him last summer, but Bayern Munich, they didn't want to sell him because our offer was too low. But the thing is, if a player only has 12 months on their deal, you're never going to get their full value because then teams can just wait and sign them for free. Now, I told you guys when the reports came out that he signed for Real Madrid, I told you that it was false. There is no way that Alphonso Davies will go and sign a pre-contract in January and then have to play the rest of the season with Bayern Munich. He would be an idiot to do that because now those fans are going to give him hell every single week. I don't think we know what's going to happen with Alphonso Davies until like May, until the end of the season. But there's no way that they're going to announce this in January. But would you guys take him at the club? I would. He's not my first choice, right? Like, they are other left backs that I would take over him. Me personally, it's never going to happen. And I say it all the time. I want Vardiol from Man City. That's who I want. I think Vardiol is the best left back in the world, and it's not close. That guy is a baller. Vardiol is amazing. He can do everything. Defensively, good. Going forward, good. Technical as well. Vardiol is the guy. But the odds of us getting him, very slim. It would be very expensive. But these are the links that I want to see. I need to be linked with left backs, right backs, center backs. I don't need any attackers, right? The only players that we should be looking at that are not defenders for next summer is a deep line playmaker. Go get me Enzo Fernandez. By the way, chat, I told y'all about Enzo Fernandez, and look at him cooking right now. That's the profile of midfielder that we need. That's the Toni Kroos player. Point is, next summer, we need a defensive revolution at the club. We must. Because Rudiger is not getting any younger. Eder Militao has tore his ACL in back-to-back seasons. He's cooked. David Alaba, who knows what he'll be like when he comes back. So, and Vallejo is leaving. His contract runs out at the end of the season. Goodbye. So, what are we going to do? We have Raul Asensio. He looks really good, but that doesn't mean that we should not. We need at least two center backs in the summer. I need a right back, and left back should be something that we consider as well. Even though I don't think left back is that high of a priority. But, again, we'll see. All right? I do believe that we are in talks with his agent, right? I do believe that the club wants him to sign a pre-agreement very soon, but it can't happen until January. But again, what if Alphonso Davies is a player that we go for in January, right? We say to Bayern Munich, yo, you want to lose him for free, or do you want to make 20 million right now? Maybe that's something that they talk about. But yeah, Alphonso Davies is a good player. Last year in the UCL, when we played them, he cooked us. And the thing is, the game at the Bernabeu, he didn't even start because he was injured. He came off the bench after Gnabry got injured. They subbed on Alphonso Davies as a left winger, and he cooked us. I mean, the left side of our attack with Davies there is going to just be so overcrowded. But could you imagine Alphonso Davies overlapping or inverting with Mbappe or Vinicius? Oh, my goodness me. Oh, my goodness me. That would be nuts. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Alphonso Davies links. Guys, I'm going to keep going because I got a few more things to talk about. Not a lot of time. I got a meeting starting in a few minutes, but I will get into your chats once I run through the rest of what I got to talk about, right? So now you guys know how I brought up Vinicius possibly going to Saudi, right? I also did hint about these Saudi clubs wanting Thibaut Courtois because that is now a rumor that's out there. And chat, let me tell you this. These Courtois to Saudi links is something that we need to be very worried about because Courtois' contract runs out next season. I did not know that. I thought that Thibaut Courtois had like 3 years left. I didn't know that his deal was expiring in 2026. And I can definitely see him possibly going to Saudi, right? There's reports that Saudi are willing to spend big money. And I think maybe the club should consider it, but I want Courtois to stay. Courtois is the best goalkeeper in the world. He has arguably been our most important player this season. How many times has he bailed us out? Big save after big save after big save. He is very important. But now I'm starting to think, if his deal expires next year, maybe the club cash in on him next summer. Now, the reports are saying that Florentino Perez wants Courtois to stay and that negotiations are expected to begin on a new contract. But then I think to myself and say, why not sell him? Right? Like, on one hand, I want him to stay, but on the other hand, I would not mind selling him. Only because I believe in Lunin that much. Lunin is a very good goalkeeper. We saw last season when Courtois went down with his injury, Lunin stepped up. Lunin was arguably a top 5 keeper in the world last season. So, why not give Lunin a chance? He's already proven that he can be very effective as the number 1, right? Now, obviously, he's nowhere near the level of Courtois, in my opinion, but maybe he'll get there. Because we all know that Lunin, right? He just signed a new deal. He entered this season with only 12 months left. And if I was him, I would be hoping that Courtois leaves. How much money do you think we can get for Thibaut Courtois? I think maybe 40 million. 35 to 40 M's. But losing him, it would hurt. But that contract situation is what's concerning me. Now, if he does end up signing a new deal, of course I'd be happy. Best goalkeeper in the world. But I think Lunin, I think it's his time, chat. It's his time. I know some people may not like that. But again, this guy has proven to us that he can do a very good job as our number 1 goalkeeper. If it wasn't for Lunin last season, we don't make the Champions League final. We don't beat Man City. That penalty save that he made and the big saves that he made throughout the game. Lunin last year was on smoke. But these Saudi clubs, man, all the money that they're offering, I definitely think that Courtois will consider it. This guy has just played 250 games for us. Why would he not consider it? Right? I think we would be kidding ourselves if you think a 32, 33-year-old goalkeeper who's won everything, who's in the later stages of his career, would not cash in for money. So, again, kind of the same premise. The only difference is I don't believe that Courtois has a release clause that's crazy, and he's only going to have 1 year left at the end of this season. And I do believe that we have the goalkeeper for the future on the bench. Now, if you guys don't rate Lunin, then maybe you can say, okay, you could go for Diogo Costa from Porto. Like, what other goalkeeper is out there that we can go buy? Liverpool signed the goalkeeper from Valencia, so we can't go get him. Donnaruma's at PSG. They won't sell him to us. Vicario at Tottenham. Like, who? The only keeper that I think we could go get that I would be happy with is Costa. He's also Portugal's number 1 goalkeeper. But the thing is, I don't believe we need to sign a goalkeeper if Courtois leaves. Lunin is the guy to take over. Why else would he sign a new deal? I don't know how much longer Courtois is going to be at the club. And if Saudi come in with the big bid, I would do it. But maybe you guys aren't going to agree with me, right? Maybe you guys are going to say, Will, what the hell are you waffling about? And yeah, Courtois for me, monster. But maybe it's time to go, bro. Cash in. You're 32, 33 years old, right? We know that goalkeepers can play for a very long time. So there's no rush. But I would think he'd want to make as much money as possible, right? He's already done everything at the club. He's been here for, what, 6 seasons? Courtois been here. He came in the same season as Vinicius, I think. That is 2018, 2019. He's been our undisputed keeper since. I now think it's time for Lunin. And if it's not Lunin, then go get me Costa from Porto. That's how I view it. But again, if Courtois does get a new deal, I wouldn't be mad at it. Definitely not. But let me know what you guys think about this. Let me get into a few of your chats, then we'll wrap up here. I wanted to talk about Endrick, right? But maybe I'll just drop a video on Endrick sometime tomorrow. No. Tomorrow we play. So I'm going to be very busy tomorrow. But I don't know. Maybe I'll drop a video about Endrick in like the morning or some shit. But yeah, Endrick was the last topic that we had. But I got a meeting that's starting right now. So no time. But I'll get into your chats real quick. And then I'll sign off. Let me see. Yo, if Trent signs a new deal with Liverpool, he might potentially be the highest paid footballer. No, he's not going to be the highest paid footballer in history, bro. He's not going to make more money than people in Saudi. He's not going to be making more money than Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's on like 170 million a year. Liverpool are not paying him that kind of money. I think that you mean he will be the highest paid player in Premier League history, maybe. And that's the kind of offer that he should be taking if he's going to reject Madrid, right? How do you feel about Frimpong? I don't rate Frimpong. I think Frimpong is good as a wing back. I view Frimpong as more of a winger than a right back. I don't think he'd be good in a back four. I think if Xabi Alonso comes in, and if we're going to do a back three, then yes, Frimpong would make sense as a right wing back. But no, I would not want to sign Frimpong because I don't even like the back three formation. So that's just me. Davies, he's going to Manchester United. They're too attractive. If Manchester United are too attractive, then what are we? We're sexy then, right? If they're attractive, we're sexy. Let me see. However, the final decisions will be for transfer talks with Bayern. Will sell him before his contract ends. I want Vardiol as well, but we had an opportunity. Yep, we were linked to Vardiol after the World Cup, but we didn't want to spend the 95 million. I think that's how much Man City paid. And looking back at it now, I wish that we did spend that 95 million. Vardiol is a monster, bro. Bro, Enzo is him, bro. Enzo is him. That is the Toni Kroos replacement right there. Let me see. What about Antonio Silva? Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout at all. Before Alaba comes back, Ronaldo retires. I don't see him coming back. Nah, I think Alaba will be back in January. You want Enzo, the racist Fernandez in Madrid? I don't think Enzo Fernandez is racist. I think he's ignorant. I think Argentina, if you understand their culture, they're very ignorant, and he's young as well. But no, if Enzo Fernandez was racist, then why the hell would he sign for Chelsea? It's nothing but black players at Chelsea. If he was racist, why would you want to play for a team that's nothing but black people? That means you got to spend a majority of your days with black people. If he's racist, then why would he want to play and train and travel a majority of the year with black people? If he was racist, he would have signed for Atletico Madrid, okay? That's what he would have done. Enzo Fernandez is ignorant. Ignorance is not racist. And he's apologized. His teammates know him. That's why they accepted his apology, right? The song is not a racist song. It's an ignorant song. But I think people confuse racism and ignorance. It's not the same thing. Anyways, let's move because I'm not the moral police. So, you go somewhere else if you want to talk about the morals. I just talk about players that I rate on the pitch. Okay. Courtois is hard to replace. Of course. But I think Lunin has shown that he could do it at a very high level. He should stay for a few seasons because I'm worried about having Lunin our future starting goalkeeper. Yep, not worried either, bro. Harsh says, does this guy ever read the chat? I read the chat after I'm done making my points, so I don't get thrown off. That's how I do it. And if you start streaming, that's probably how you will do it as well. Taba will retire here. Why does everybody just think that everybody's going to retire here, right? I could have said the same thing for Ronaldo, right? I could have said that I thought that Ronaldo was going to retire here, and then he ends up going to Juve, right? I could have said that Sergio Ramos is going to retire here. He ended up leaving. I could have said Marcelo is going to retire here. He ended up leaving, right? Just because a player is very good for us, it doesn't mean that he's going to retire at the club. You know what I'm trying to say, chat? So don't just automatically think that because the player is considered a legend, he's not going to leave. Like, that's just not how football works. 1 second, chat. 1 second. All right. A few more chats and we'll get out of here. Let me see. Whew. Madrid are eyeing. Real Madrid has shown concrete interest in AC Milan goalkeeper. Oh, okay, Mike Maignan. Not a bad keeper. He's not a bad keeper at all. Could be a shout. Let me see. I'm amazed how well you can speak for so long straight, bruh. I know I couldn't. It ain't easy, bro. I respect that. Yeah, look, man, I appreciate that, bro. You guys make it super easy to do these streams. You get me? Like, it was harder last year when I had nobody watching me. You know, now we're building a little bit of a community, right? Big up to everybody. I'm going to have some exciting things coming very soon, right? I'm going to start a Discord, right? And we're going to have chats where we can all talk and stuff, even when I'm not on stream. Don't worry. Big things are coming. We're growing pretty good. And yeah, man, you guys are the best, right? Like, W chat every single time. Super fun. Big up to my guy 2K. By the way, he says, yo, bro, you locked in for that Barca game. I will keep an eye on it, but I won't be able to watch it on stream because I have something for work. But I will be doing Bayern Munich versus Leverkusen. So we will be here for that, right? Xabi Alonso watch, Alphonso Davies watch, also Musiala, you know, all those other ballers there, Florian Wirtz, whatever. So that's the game that we'll be doing in a few hours. But real quick, little shameless plug, right? You guys see my guy 2K right here with this dope badge next to his name, right? If you guys want to become a member of the channel and get a badge and get access to the custom emojis, it is the pinned chat at the top. You click that link, you can become a member of the channel, right? And you get badges next to your name. You also have access to the Real Madrid badge. There's also a few other badges in there as well. So look, man, big up your damn selves. We'll end it here, all right? We'll end it here. I will be back later. A few hours from now, we will be doing Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen, all right? German Super Cup. So, important game, knockout game, all right? Mallorca, you must take some points off of Barcelona. Please do me a favor. Do me a favor, guys. Come on, come on. But as I said, man, yeah, pin chat if you guys want to become a member of the channel. And nobody has to, but, you know, I'll plug it every here and there, right? Big up to everybody that is a member. Big up to everybody that was on the stream, that watched it, that smashed the like button, that got in the live chat. W chat, W viewers every single time. But guys, I'll catch you in a bit. Hopefully, Mallorca win, and hopefully that Bayern versus Leverkusen game is fire. In a bit, people. Peace.